my YouTube channel BioZ Classes. So in the coming sessions, I am going to discuss about two of the important viral diseases which are well documented, that is common cold and hepatitis. Coming to this disease, we know that the most commonly found viral diseases are common cold. Why this disease primarily infects upper respiratory tract, especially the nose. What is the reason? Because here there is a proper suitable temperature of 33 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 2 to 3 degrees lower than the body temperature. That might be the reason why the common cold virus survives in this nose or the upper respiratory tract. Generally, it may also infect larynx together with throat and sinuses. Dear friends, there is let us also understand how the word cold might have come into existence. First of all, let me tell you, it was believed that when a person is exposed to rainy season or winter season, he may caught cold. So from there the word cold might have originated. Further, when we talk about the viral disease common cold, in general terms we can refer that to as cold, as I said you. Together with that, we can also say viral rhinitis or nasopharyngitis. Even we can say rhinopharyngitis. So these are some important introductory points about this disease. Further, let me also tell you, as usual, I am going to tell you about the epidemiology, followed by the causative agents and their transmission, and the symptoms, diagnosis, prevention and treatment of this disease. Dear friends, as I said you before, across the globe, the most commonly found infections are common colds. So considering that, in short, I will tell you the epidemiology of this disease. So firstly, let me tell you that in adults, generally we can find 2 to 3 times the cold annually. Secondly, when you consider the children, so the cold can in fact affect maybe around 6 to 10 times annually. Again, finally, when you consider school children, so as they are exposed to other friends who may have catched up with the cold, so they stand more chances here, probably 12 times a year. So anyway, so along with this, let me also tell you, elderly people are more symptomatic. Along with the symptoms of this common cold, they have the disease, and they also spread the disease to many. So why? What is the reason? Because of the declining immunity which they may possess. So this is the short the epidemiology of the disease common cold. Next, we are going to discuss about the causative agents and their transmission. See, this disease generally is caused by a group of viruses. Now, especially among that, rhinoviruses are the most common one. So, apart from this, we also have other viruses which cause this disease, like human coronavirus, followed by we have enteroviruses, human respiratory syncytial viruses, influenza virus, then let me also say, along with that we have adenoviruses, No, so these are some of the other group of viruses which can cause this disease. Please note, all these viruses can cause. So when we come to the transmission of this disease, let me tell you, my dear friends, that this disease is transmitted by the droplets from sneeze and cold of the infected person, and also by the infected utensils, handkerchiefs, pens, pencils, and so on. So this is about the causative agents and their transmission. Further, we are going to discuss about the symptoms of this disease. Friends, here we can generally find mild fever, along with this cough, sneezing, sore throat. Sore throat basically, it indicates what? The pain in the, what I can say, throat with inflammation, especially caused due to virus or due to any other infection. Even nasal congestion can also be seen. Generally, sore throat can be seen affecting around 40% of the people with common cold, and cough in almost about 50% of the people. The children as well as the, what I can say, the babies are very much susceptible to this common cold. But the higher, what I can say, elderly people, higher age people will definitely have low chances of getting common cold. And make one point here, mild fever is also generally seen in the young children and the babies, but not in, what I can say, the higher aged people. So this is about the symptoms of the disease common cold. Further, we are going to discuss about the diagnosis, the prevention and the treatment. Dear friends, there is no specific diagnostic tool available for identifying the disease. Just by looking at the physical signs and symptoms, the doctor will be definitely able to say that a person may have contracted common cold. So that is on one side. On the other side, let me tell you the preventive measures of this disease. Following the proper practices of hygiene, especially proper techniques of hand washing and use of face masks in the healthcare environment is very much recommended. Further, my dear friends, isolation or quarantine is not at all the option for this disease, because this disease is very widespread and the symptoms are, what I can say, non-specific. Vaccination is also not the option, because here we have number of viruses which cause this disease and they mutate very rapidly. So that is again neglected. Further, the best thing what I can say here is following the healthy practices, keeping our environment clean and healthy, definitely helps us to prevent this disease. Further, moving on to the treatment, this disease will automatically subside in most of the people within 1 or 2 weeks. But in some, it may persist for very, what I can say, short period of time. It may prolong for 1 or 2 more weeks to the maximum. So, the best treatments which are available, I can say, the first one is that washing nose with warm salt water. Will remove the irritants and also the mucus. Secondly, use of menthol and throat lozenge. So what are these lozenge? Lozenge are small medicated tablets which soothes the sore throat, and what I can say, irritation can be reduced by this. Thirdly, if there is what I can severe common cold, definitely we can go for anti-inflammatory drugs. So what is the role of this one? They reduce the inflammation, relieve the pain and also reduces fever. Then we have fourthly, antihistamines. So these reduces the allergy or stops it. Fifthly, let me say we also have analgesics. So this relieves the pain, and we have decongestants. So they help in removal of what I can say, or they make the passage where there is a blockage of respiratory tract, and also they help in reducing the inflammation. Seventhly and most importantly, we have cough medications. If there is excessive cough, so it stops the cough reflex. Together with that, it thins the mucus so that the airways are cleared for proper passage. Dear friends, go through all the complete aspects about this disease again, from the epidemiology till the treatment of the disease. If any doubts or clarifications you have, please don't forget to mention in the comment section below. I request you to please subscribe to my channel BioZ Classes, and also like and support. Keep updated for more videos. Thank you very much.